South African NGO Gift of the Givers is extending a helping hand in Ukraine. It will provide humanitarian aid to those affected by the war. But charities have been reporting they're struggling to deliver aid to affected areas. Founder Imtiaz Sooliman joins us now to tell us how they plan to get around these obstacles. Imtiaz, thank you very much. Always great to have you on the show. Congratulations again. We always thank you for the incredible work you do. And no surprise to South Africans that when there's need, Gift of the Givers jumps up ready to go wherever that need is. Ukraine, no different, but they have some unique challenges. Tell us first, what are the obstacles you're facing in trying to get aid to people affected by the crisis in Ukraine?
Good afternoon, Anli. Thank you very much. Well, the obstacles are the same in any war situation. It's always important. It's not so much an obstacle, it's so much the challenges. It's about finding credible people on the ground. You don't know the country, you don't know the language, you don't know the people, and you have to find credible people and people you want to help to make sure the aid goes as fast as possible to the people who need it most. Your priority is frontline hospitals and where frontline people are trapped in between the war zones or where the bombs are falling. That's a priority. Secondly, people are left in their homes. Others who are moving away who are internally displaced and moving across the border. You have them leaving family members behind in houses. They need to be seen to. Then it's the old age homes, the physically and mentally challenged, and facilities like that. They need to be assisted. So those are the main challenges in where you have to get the aid to. Then how do you get the aid? First prize, can you get it in Ukraine? What's the transport situation? Are people scared to move the goods? Will they drive the cars? So that's the next challenge. Then, if not in Ukraine, can you buy it from neighboring countries and from Europe? And thirdly, of course, selling it from South Africa. All these things we've worked out already. We've been discussing with people. And the easiest, you always go for the low-hanging fruit. Right now, there's families, well, there's a family of a South African who's married to a Ukrainian lady. She's in a home in Ukraine. She's got her own networks. We're funding it. They're buying the items and delivering to as many people as possible. That's to assist as far as possible in a simple, we call it simple soft aid. In the meantime, we've also spoken to one of the chief humanitarian coordinators for the country, and we'll be sending them stuff from South Africa and from Europe. They are opening the secure corridors to get to the frontline personnel. In addition, we've also given them a blueprint what to watch out for, because they say they haven't done this before in this extent. So we assisted them from our own experience. So in every way there's a challenge, we respond to it, but a new challenge will come, we'll have to respond to it. That's the nature of a war situation.
So it sounds like you've got logistics in place to send goods to Ukraine. Are you going to be sending South African aid workers into Ukraine to try and assist the people who are your network there?
Right now, no. We've taken a decision since COVID has started that we will, because we don't need to send non-medical personnel. There's enough. There's 40 million people there. More than 40 million people who can assist in terms of volunteer work. So, and we've took a decision not to send medical personnel because our own hospitals are in trouble in South Africa. They're understaffed. Over 1,000 healthcare workers have passed on. There's so much of catch-up surgery to the challenge of COVID, which is not so much there now. But we need our personnel in our country. It will be suicide to send our people out, not because of the war, but because of our own situation in our own country. And as far as possible, we will back up all the medical personnel, the healthcare workers, and the vulnerable people in Ukraine to the best of our ability.
Have you been receiving assistance from government in any form in making sure that there are the kind of diplomatic green lights for goods from South Africa to enter Ukraine easily?
No, we haven't requested it because we're not entering Ukraine. It's Ukrainian people already in Ukraine, so we don't have to enter. If that's a need, of course, the ambassador in Ukraine is a friend of mine, Andrei Grunwald. I've sent him a message. We're close friends. I was with Doko last week. I also spoke to Home Affairs that in case, because remember, there's also South Africans want to come home. So if there's any South Africans stuck who need papers, I spoke to Home Affairs and they said they don't think that should be a problem. So, and of course, there's another association called the Ukrainian Association of South Africa. They're dealing directly with the Ukrainian government, and the person I'm dealing with on the other side is also from the Ukrainian government. And in the discussion, there was a discussion we had on Friday night, and in that discussion, there were people from the Ukrainian Health Ministry also on that channel. So in all areas, it's sort of open. There's no issue about taking stuff across. We may have to speak to the Polish government to get things through, but that's not our responsibility. The Ukrainian government is doing that.
Imtiaz, there are a lot of Ukrainians who've already left Ukraine. They've gone to neighboring countries like Poland, like Romania, Moldova. Is there a need to assist Ukrainians in those countries, or do those countries have the situation handled? We understand, an influx of people. There's a lot of logistics to try and provide them with the necessary aid. Are you in any way involved there?
No, from the discussion I had on Friday night, there were people from Slovakia, Romania, Croatia, and they spoke on behalf of Poland and Hungary. And all of them said the same thing. They said, look, we are well geared right now to cater for all the refugees coming into our countries. And they said something very strange, very remarkable. They said, as the refugees come through the border, we have our own citizens from our country going to the border to fetch them, to take them to their own homes. We've opened up our hospitals, we're clearing space, we're making more beds available. So right now, they said we can manage. And the reality is, for 1 million refugees, it's a lot. But with so many countries around and with the support of Europe, it won't be too much of a problem right now. But if the numbers start climbing to 4, 5, 6 million, that's going to be a challenge.
You say you're a good friend with Ambassador Groenewald. Having spoken to him recently, how's he doing? We know he faced a lot of challenges in trying to assist South Africans stuck in Ukraine with, lack of resources. His hands very much tied. He had to leave the country. How is he doing at the moment?
Well, I haven't had, since he left, I haven't managed to get hold of him. I've sent him messages, but I haven't had a response. So I'm not sure where he is right now. But initially, when I sent a message, I offered assistance to say whatever is required. And soon after that, he just went off the radar. I don't get any responses to my messages. But in the first week when I spoke to him, he just said, thank you very much, we're fine, and thank you for the offer. And since then, there's been no communication.
Well, we hope he's doing well. Is there anything that you require from South Africans in terms of assistance? A lot of people want to get involved. A lot of people always on hand to assist Gift of the Givers by donating goods. How can South Africans get involved?
It's not so much about donating goods. Goods create a problem in terms of transport costs and getting it across. The fastest way will be, of course, for cash. We can buy the stuff in Europe. But while saying that, there are pharmaceutical companies and medical societies who are talking to us this week who want to make surplus medication and supplies relevant to trauma in a war situation available. That we will fly out from here. We've made arrangements with airlines and customs clearance and trading agents and that kind of items. But it'll be much easier and much faster to buy the medical supplies as well as the food, the medicines, the baby food, the diapers, the sanitary pads, the blankets, the mattresses, everything required in that situation to get it across quickly. And also there's a question of funding South Africans who want to come home. So funding will be required for that. Some companies have come forward with that already, but we need to bring South Africans home. And also there's a bigger need of a lot of Africans from African countries who also want to come home and have nobody to support them. So if we expand the program, we will look at bringing Africans home too.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. Good luck with your work in Ukraine. That was Imtiaz Sooliman from Gift of the Givers.